Hi, today I'm going to show you how I built this grappling dummy out of some scrap hardwood that I found in a neighbor's yard. My wife named him Prince Charles, and for some reason that makes him even more fun to grapple with. So like I said, I started with some hardwood and I just laminated some pieces together and cut it to size. When I built this, I tried to build each joint so that it would move the same way any other human joint would. So for the knees and elbows, I just put a bolt through the center of the joint, and I designed the joint so that it would lock out at 180 degrees and be able to bend about the same angle as a human knee. For the hips, I had to do something a little bit different. The hips not only needed to bend, but they also needed to be able to allow the legs to rotate. So what I did for this was just use some heavy gauge wiring and some conduit, and I just looped that through a hole in the hardwood. This allowed the legs to move around freely and provided a really good range of motion. If I had to do it again, I would also add some bundled up coat hangers to add a little stability to each joint. So now you can see the elbows and the shoulders. Again, for the elbows I used bolts, but for the shoulders I made them more mobile, and again I used some heavy gauge wire and some conduit and just looped those through so that it essentially had a full range of motion. The head also has a full range of motion similar to that of a human. However, I don't think trying to simulate the range of motion was that important, and I'll give you some tips at the end of the video on what I would do different next time. As you can see, you have to add a lot of padding to the wood afterwards to make it comfortable, and this also adds a lot of stability to the joints. I used some of the foam mat I had left over from building my mat. You know, the little puzzle piece ends that come off. I used a lot of those, and I also used a lot of duct tape. You can also use old clothing and whatever else you have laying around to help stuff your dummy. Overall, this dummy's worked really well and helped me get my head around some new moves when I learned them. It's not going to replace a live training partner, but it definitely is very helpful for when you're learning a new position or a new move and you want to get some reps in at home. If I had to build this again, I wouldn't bother trying to simulate the joints so accurately. I would probably just make a hole where each joint needs to be and loop through that heavy gauge wire and conduit and follow that up with some coat hangers bundled together across each joint. This will allow me to still have a pretty rigid joint, but it won't be constrained and I won't have to worry about breaking it during arm bars when Prince Charles forgets to tap. Thanks for watching, and if you kind of want to learn more about how this was made, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. I know this wasn't a very detailed build, so if you actually want to build one of these for yourself, ask any questions you want in the comments and I will get back to you.